vibrant Gram Sabha, we have a dedicated portal for that. We may have e-Gram Swaraj, dedicated portal for that. We may have a digital technology app, Nirnay app, Gram Sabha resolutions. With all these in place, please search your heart and tell me, do we have house-full Gram Sabhas even today? Isn't it a challenge still that somewhere the percentage of people really attending Gram Sabhas lags and has much to be desired? I would also like to strongly advocate that I feel, at least in Rajasthan, I don't know about the status in other states, there is no dedicated budget for conducting a Gram Sabha. For the state central parliament, for the state assemblies, there's a dedicated budget, but there is no dedicated budget for conduct of a Gram Sabha. This can easily be allowed. There is no untied fund available at the discretion of the Gram Sabha to really take decisions when we call it the people's parliament. Do we invest the autonomy of self-governance in the Gram Sabha, the ultimate democratic decentralization? Then I would also like to say, with all the beautiful movement of neighborhood groups and self-help groups and thriving 46 lakh women in Kerala's neighborhood groups, self-help groups, and we have a similar number in Rajasthan. But I'm intrigued to think why, for bringing actual social transformative change for gender equality and for countering gender-based discrimination, discriminatory practices, gender-based violence, why a Tripti Desai social activist from Pune had to step in to raise the question about gaining entry into Sabrimala temple. Why these lakhs of neighborhood group women could not become a voice for bringing that social change. And I remember in my first exposure visit to Kerala in the 90s, when we talked to the women elected leaders, and the women members of neighborhood groups, and when the women of Women's Development Program, the Sathins, our grassroots workers in Rajasthan, started interacting, they would ask questions that with all your lakhs of turnover, why are you still not looking vibrant and happy? And then they would have intimate exchanges and things of domestic violence would be brought forth. So these are questions that we still need to consider. So I would also like to strongly advocate, while you have set the benchmark to have a dedicated women's component plan, and you are still continuing with the 5-yearly plan process, although the country has stopped it forthwith after the 12th plan. We started the gender budgeting somewhere in the 11th plan. But why, when near 50% population is of women, why do we earmark only 10% under the women's component plan? Why can't it be commensurate with the population? Similarly, if you say that you have 50% elderly population in Kerala, why do we have a tokenistic component plan of 5% for geriatric care? So these are few issues that trouble me still. Now, I would also like to say, we talk about biodiversity management, the act being there, an August speaker told us about it, and we have had it since 2002. There are biodiversity management committees created in all panchayats, but are they vibrant? Are they functional? And I would like to advocate that Ministry of Panchayati Raj can provide this opportunity, as they have done several times. Why can't Indian Forest Service officers who are training at the Dehradun Academy, the probationers, they can be, have an internship period with Gram Panchayats, the Bhopal Institute of Forest Management. Why can't those students have an internship window with panchayats to really handhold and mentor them on biodiversity management issues? Similarly, I would say that issues like District Planning Committee, which was cited as a weak point still, and it is countrywide, although it's a constitutional body. Do we have any untied fund at the disposal of the District Planning Committee to really bring together the urban local plan? It has become virtually a rubber stamping body of passing the plan. of rural and urban governments, but it has no autonomy or budgetary discretion of its own. I'll just wind up. Just two more suggestions. I would like to say, Joy Lemon and Mr. Balan and Ministry of Panchayati Raj, you have wonderful schemes like RGSA in place for flagging the capacity building as a continuous process. Now, HR policy committee was created by Dr. Reddy when he was DG NIRD. There are SIRDs in all states of the country, but it is a sad story that the SIRD doesn't have, although there is a scheme called Core Faculty Scheme under Ministry of Rural Development, but do the SIRDs have core faculty, or are they just continuing on contractual staff under SPRC, under SIRD? If no permanent faculty, we talk of localizing SDGs, but there are no sustained faculty support to really bring these dreams to life. I would also like to say that apart from training, we seriously have to consider information, education, communication, and time has come that the ministry has to, in consultation, in convergence with Prasar Bharati, set up a dedicated channel for the 31 lakh elected leaders that you have on Doordarshan, on All India Radio, and also have a dedicated YouTube channel for sharing success stories of Beacon Panchayats. So these are few things. There was this Indian Panchayat Knowledge Portal hosted by NIRD. I don't know whether it is thriving or has become defunct. These channels have to be really strengthened for panchayats to learn from each other. Now, I would like to say lastly that there is this Panchayat Development Index recently launched by Ministry of Panchayati Raj. But yes, sir, just winding up. It has more than 300 data points. Can the panchayats with the contractual data entry operator with no dedicated secretary and village development officer full-time, how will they handle it? We don't even have, elected panchayat leaders with some educational, eligibility to contest. So these have to be user-friendly, just creating data for its own sake. Whether that data can be used, it can become panchayat-friendly. For example, the Mission Antyodaya survey, where with 140 odd parameters, we are collecting data every year, scoring them in red, blue, and green. But is it accessible to the panchayats to build on it? And similarly, PDI, is it accessible, user-friendly? Can panchayats do justice to it? So we should have also a scheme of exchange fellows of good panchayat leaders who have completed a 5 years innings, sitting panchayat leaders, apart from exposure visits, for promoting peer learning across panchayats, because they best learn through their own exchanges. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am.